What I'm going to do, I'm going to try the one straw revolution thing, and I'm going to throw out some brown rice seed in a minute, and hopefully that will grow. And then when I mow the stubble of this wheat, it will cover the rice seed, and when it's the right time for the rice seed to grow, it will. And when we harvest the rice seed, I'll throw out wheat seed again. So that's the plan. And have a look. I think we may be going to get some rain. It's been so hot that some rain would be really welcome. Let me just show you what my friend Miriam is, her camping outfit. You've got to see this. Look at my great big mouse house and her little tiny mouse tent. Isn't that cute? Anyway, let's have a look and let's see what a bunch of this looks like. You got a bunch yet, Miriam? Okay, let's come up close and have a look at what this looks like. There we go, we have a bunch of wheat. Okay, so I'm going to turn this off now, and I'm going to cut some of this wheat as well. And
yes, if we have to.
Listen to this. Woohoo! Okay, be back shortly. Okay, we've done, I just ground the first lot of wheat that was grown on that horrible soil. So we've grown wheat, I dried some, well it was dry really by the sun, and then we bashed it around a bit in a calico bag and blown all the husks away and everything, and we ended up with the grain, and then I ground it up and we've ended up with flour. Look at this. Look at this for flour. I know, I don't have a very sophisticated grinder, but it seems like we've got some flour. Now I'm going to have a look in a recipe book and just see what can I do. Can I add this to a bit of white flour or something, and make a loaf maybe, or make a flatbread. So Miriam is now sort of pulling it off the next lot of stalks that have been hanging around drying, and then they'll get bashed and then they'll get ground, and happy days. Look at that, self-sufficiency. A cup of wheat. I did have a little bit of a shock actually. Went away and it heavily rained, and my Max Air did not shut. It was supposed to. So I'm not sure what to do there, whether I have to buy a new sensor for it. But until I do, until I find out what is actually wrong with it, I won't be going out and leaving that vent open. Luckily it just, soaked that rug on the floor, and it wasn't too bad. But I kind of had a premonition. I thought to myself, is that going to shut in this heavy rain? Of course it is, that's what it does. Well, it didn't. The cherry plums. I saw some of these trees nearby, and the cherry plums were bigger. So I still plan to make some cherry plum jam, but maybe from the cherry plums from another tree. Oh look, it's starting to get red. So with some of the cracked wheat that I have, and some wholemeal flour and some white flour, I'm going to make a cracked wheat loaf. Mix thoroughly, cover dough with cling wrap, set it aside to double. Okay. Rightio, we've got this very hot water, which was 2/3 cold, 1/3 hot, and a little bit of oil. Looks dry to me. Hang on. Check the recipe. Oh, that's silly. Okay, I needed 600 ml, and this is only 250, so we'll do this again. Makes 500. My mistake was knowing it was 2/3 of a cup cold to 1/3 of a cup hot, but then I needed 600 ml at that rate. Okay, look at it now. Now it's a sloppy old mix, which it's supposed to be. Looking shaggy. Oops. Looking sticky. Okay, that's all I have to do, apparently, at this stage. The plan is to cover it, that's right. So it goes over the bowl. And now leave it somewhere warm. I'll leave it anyway. It's pretty warm. And that is bread making part 1. I think I'll just have a cup of tea before we start on part 2, because I think that's just about doubled. So with tea in hand and dough doubled, can you see this? This is the dough is doubled in size. So I'll just read the next bit. Allow it to double in size again, then pop it in the oven. Okay, so take off the cling wrap. Unfortunately, we can't use that again. Look at this great mat that I bought. It's a silicone mat, and it means that nothing's going to stick in the wood on this bench underneath. Okay, and tip it out. And even in a tiny space kitchen, you can do things like this. Isn't that good? Then consolidate with your hands like scone dough, which means lightly. Okay. This is an olive oil spray. Quite handy. And one in one end and one in the other. Okay, and pop this in the other half. Now we just leave that to double in size. I'll pop that there. So just flatten this out. I've got some mixed fruit. So I'll just go and get some butter out of the fridge in the van. Back again! Hi! I have some melted butter and maybe a little maple syrup might be the go. I'm going to try it. Okay. This is not from a recipe, so who knows how this might turn out. But I'll give it a go. A lot of dry fruit. And some spice would be good, wouldn't it? Honestly, half my stuff is in the van, half my stuff is in here. Right, and roll. I might use these. See these nice little tins? I think these might be nice for this. A sharp, sharp knife. Cut this in half. One fat half, one thin half. Oh, look at that. That's not so bad. So we have 2 of these. They can sit there and rise. Okay, where are we up to? So we've got these 2 little tins now, and this piece with 1 currant. And pop this in this tin, like a little caterpillar. And some of this butter can go on these ones. Look, they're sort of spreading out already. So a little bit of butter maple syrup on the top. Oh, yum. This is a cracked wheat from the wheat that I grew. So, sprinkle a little of this on. A little of this. Oh. How rustically beautiful. So we have these 2. And the little Chelsea bun type things. These 2. Okay, so now it just all sits and doubles in size again. I clean up. I have some tea. Nothing like a cup of tea, is there? And so I tidy up now. Next stop is part 3, and I'm going to cook them in the pizza oven, and I'll show you them when they're all done. Okay? So what do they look like? Come and have a look. There we go. 1 little loaf, 1 bigger loaf, and 2 fruit loaves. Pretty good. I'm happy. Good morning. I've just got to reshoot a whole little episode because I had a white bit of, I don't know, onion or something stuck on my face, and I just looked at the footage. Okay, come with me and I'll show you what I showed you before. Okay, so today the mouse house is not just the mouse house today. Mind you, is the mouse house ever just? Today the mouse house is the jam factory. So I've been in here and I've made 12 jars of cherry plum jam and 3 jars of cherry plum chili paprika sauce, because I'm going to a barbecue soon and I'm going to take that. So this works out really well in here because, you know, I've got the vent so I can let out steam. I've got a big burner on here on the stove, which is, you know, good for this big preserving pan. And I also have an oven so I can wash and put the jars in there and warm them, ready for the jam. So here you have it, the Mouse House Jam Factory. And I've just done all the cleaning up, and I've only had 1 cup of tea so far today. So would you like to join me for a cup of tea?
You make me feel like no one's ever made me feel before. You can't even think of living without you. And I knew it from the minute that you walked in through the door.
Is this the cheesecake song?
Yes. Well, I ordered 2 more coffees. And you sat down with a smile. You seemed so sad and lonely, and then began to cry.
Smile!
I became all flustered as I tried to dry your tears. The Aggie from my pocket that had been there several years.